तुम लोगों ने तो मुझे बर्थडे गिफ्ट दिया नहीं, लेकिन मेरी बीवी ने मुझे एक बर्थडे गिफ्ट दिया है जो मैं तुम्हारे साथ शेयर करना चाहूँगा. Can you guess what that birthday gift is?
We know what it is. No.
After giving you Yeezys, now she's giving you Hardees.
She gives Hardees. Talking about phallic shaped objects, I was given a telescope.
Oh,
yes.
Outstanding.
क्योंकि अगर आप मुझे जानते हो तो आपको ये पता है कि मुझे स्पेस से बहुत फैसिनेशन है और मेरे को ऑलमोस्ट 10 साल से
स्टारगेजिंग का शौक
करने का है. ठीक है,
रोज तेरे को शाहरुख को देखना है सलमान.
हाँ, रोज मैं ऐसे बैंडस्टैंड जाता हूँ और ऐसे देखता हूँ कि दिखेगा.
No, but my thing is कि it's a great gift by the way.
Superb
Genuinely, I
gift.
think
One
it's an
second, can you tell me the model number?
It is the Celestron 102 AZ refractor telescope.
Wow.
Star
Amazing.
Sense.
तू
How
रट
many
लिया क्या?
times? Yeah, how many times have you said
No,
this?
because and funnily enough, this was one of the 3 shortlists I had for a telescope that I would eventually buy if she hadn't given. I had no idea she was giving it to me. Okay, so get this. She has sat and planned with some friends, family, ये वो. मेरे दोस्त का मैसेज आता है, मीर का बोल रहे सुन ना, मेरा दोस्त तेरे बिल्डिंग में मूव हुआ है, वो 22nd फ्लोर पे रहते हैं, तो आज हम लोग ऊपर टेरेस पे चिल कर रहे हैं. And they were all supposed to come to my house that evening. So I said, नीचे आना, मैं ऊपर क्यों? अबे आना चलना टेरेस पे, वो ना चल.
Which is so easy to convince Varun. If it was me, I'd be like, हाँ ठीक है, तुम लोग खत्म करके आओ.
मतलब मैं 17 माले में टेरेस 22 पे लिफ्ट में जाना, थोड़ी चल के जा रहा हूँ. चल के गया ऐसे, आई वॉक टुवर्ड्स द टेरेस. टेरेस का दरवाजा खुला है, मस्त ऐसे कार्पेट बिछा है और एक टेलीस्कोप और कोई बंदा फिक्स कर रहा है. सो आई हैव गॉन हिम लाइक, ओ माय गॉड, फक, टेलीस्कोप, आज तो हो जाए स्टार गेजिंग. ये अज्यूमिंग दैट शी हैज गॉटन somebody from this company, Asteroid, check them out, to come and do a session on stargazing. I'm like, oh wow, what a cool gift. सब कर रहे हैं. थोड़े टाइम के बाद मैं ऐसे पीछे देखा ना तो ऐसे डब्बा है, सब खुला हुआ है, नया पैकेजिंग. मैं बोला स्टार गेजिंग सेशन के लिए थोड़ी कोई नया लेके आएगा. That's when it actually hit me कि ये मेरा है.
Oh.
So I've gone down excitedly. I'm like, baby, bought me a telescope. She's like, you realize that now, an hour after we've seen everything? I said, no, I thought it was a session. Yeah. But now that I have it, अभी suddenly वो एक pressure कि भाई इसको use करना है, क्योंकि बोलना बहुत easy है, अरे I want telescope, I love stargazing, but to actually sit down and doing it. So if you have any tips and suggestions on where all I can stargaze, please
Bro,
let
I
us
तो
know in
feel
the
like
comments.
in Mumbai, it's so difficult.
हाँ,
क्योंकि
कुछ
तू
नहीं.
ऊपर देखेगा सीधा पोल्यूशन.
सिर्फ pollution है.
Right.
नहीं, but Varun's bought it for you know what? वो जब पूना जाएगा ना तो घर से वाशी का ब्रिज पे ट्रैफिक देखे.
सही बात. तो इसी से सेगुजीत करते हैं towards our episode for today, which is, I will tell you after the intro. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Internet Said So, a show we take random interesting videos, observe facts, and develop stories, and we talk about them. And today's episode is part 2 of Space Facts.
क्या बात है?
क्योंकि अभी टेलीस्कोप आया तो स्पेस के बारे में बात करते हैं.
तो क्या देखा स्पेस में? बॉम्बे में तो स्पेस नहीं है.
नहीं, तो हमने टेरेस से देखा तो वीनस दिख रहा था.
अच्छा, वीनस.
हाँ. But the same company that she got the telescope from, when we had gone to magnetic fields, they had a stargazing session.
Oh, it makes sense there.
Yeah, no, there you don't even need the telescope to see
Yeah,
stars.
you just see stars. Yeah.
उधर तो मैग्नेटिक फील्ड्स है भी.
हाँ हाँ. But
To
तो
get.
हाँ. So हम लोग उधर गए, bro, and they had like a bigger telescope at that point. Bro, I saw Jupiter. And when I say Jupiter, मतलब proper Jupiter. Saw
You mean
Saturn.
as opposed to the counterfeit?
Saturn and its rings.
And its rings, bro. It is insane. Like, see, most of the things, right?
How
like,
big? How defined was it?
So the thing is, the bigger the celestial body, the sharper the image will be.
Sure,
And the smaller it is, you will still be able to see it, but it will look like an out of focus light.
ऐसा 144p.
क्या हाँ कि मतलब है वो Venus
But Jupiter HD.
HD मतलब as HD as can be, plus you need clearer skies. उधर तो desert में कुछ light pollution है नहीं, तो तू ऊपर देख सकता है, कोई smog वॉग कुछ नहीं है. So from there when you see it, dude, it's insane to see Jupiter, like hear about Jupiter or see it in pictures, but to be able to see it, तू अपने आँख से देख रहा है.
Meaning अगर तू फ्लैट अर्थर को ये सब दिखाएगा तो क्या बोलता है वो लोग? Meaning what is their thing? ये false.
नहीं, फ्लैट अर्थर बोलेगा कि दूर है.
नहीं पर वो अच्छा then इधर भी वो राउंड है पर अपन फ्लैट है.
हाँ.
वो राउंड है लेकिन वो ऐसा घूम रहा है चपाती जैसे. So yeah, it's quite but I think from the last time we did this episode to now, बहुत सारे
No, तो तू बॉम्बे से कुछ भी नहीं दिखा.
मैं वीनस देखा, फिर सीरियस देखा, Orion's belt, which you anyway can see with the naked eye, but slightly more sharper, you know. And now, like, I'm very amateur. I'm not some.
Of course,
super-
yeah. You
super
don't even know
expert.
which direction to point and all that.
क्या
Right?
हाँ मैं ऐसे ऊपर करके देखे जो दिख रहा है मालूम पड़ा स्ट्रीट लाइट था नीचे कर.
अरे बहुत ब्राइट है यार.
अरे मस्त दिख रहा है यार उधर लाल क्यों हो गया अभी ग्रीन हो गया. श्रुति ऊपर तो कर. ओह सॉरी बट इतना
Star burst हो रहा है.
इसमें एरो क्यों दिख रहा है?
Hey, I found life.
But you know, a lot of things have happened in the space situation since we last did a podcast. One of the biggest things was the
Stuff happening.
James Webb Space Telescope.
Correct.
The biggest.
उसका एक दोस्त जा रहा है अभी.
हाँ?
उसका एक दोस्त जा रहा है
बट
अभी.
लेकिन जेम्स वेब ब्रो इतने साल से उन लोग प्लान कर रहे थे. देखा इफ यू गाइस हैवंट प्लीज चेक आउट. इट इज जस्ट अ फकिंग स्ट्रेट अप मार्वल ब्रो. लाइक यू नो हाउ कैजुअली पीपल जस्ट से कि हाँ हम लोग एक टेलीस्कोप बनाएंगे और उसमें ओरिगामी यूज करते हैं ना. द शील्ड इज फोल्डेड व्हिच गेट्स वंस इट्स आउट एंड इट्स इन अ स्पेसिफिक ऑर्बिट. उधर जाके वो ओरिगामी की तरह कैसे खोलता है वैसा पूरा खोल के तेरा वो स्ट्रक्चर बन रहा है. एंड इट इज लाइक इट्स स्टिल लाइक lakhs of miles away from.
No, you're right, and it's the correct, possibly the most accurate description.
Explain to me like I'm a 5-year-old. देख क्या होता है ओरिगामी होता है फिर उन लोग फेंकते हैं उसको ऊपर जाके अटके और फिर खुले.
और कैसे फेंकते हो ऐसा फोल्ड कर.
हाँ फिर ये कौन कर रहा है? इलॉन मस्क. नहीं बट पता है उसका सीन क्या है ना. दैट बिकॉज तेरा सन उधर अनइंटरप्टेड है तो तेरे रेज आएंगे भारी. सो इट्स अ शील्ड फॉर दैट. सो उसके पीछे का जो टेम्परेचर है कंपेयर टू आगे का टेम्परेचर जमीन आसमान का फर्क. Right, it has to be at a certain level of coolness for the lens ka some science shit to not happen.
Suddenly no more 5-year-old.
Now to just explain to me as I don't understand words. तो कुछ तो होता है science.
कुछ तो science और फिर like.
But like, have you seen the images that have come from this?
I've seen a couple.
So
Yeah.
so
What
this
the
keeps.
fuck is that,
Bro,
man?
this keeps breaking the internet, right? Like we've got some new footage from deep space, and here's what it looks like, and it's truly like mind-boggling. Like the things you see, the colors, the shapes, all of that. Right? It's crazy. The thing that amazes me even more than that is कि वो लोग deep space से एक signal भेज रहा है और पहुंच रहा है और मेरा इधर वोडाफोन का इधर.
हाँ हेलो आ रही है क्या आवाज?
Bro, I am calling a friend who's less than 5 kilometers away.
Seriously?
और 3 बार कॉल ड्रॉप हुआ.
ड्रॉप हो रहा है.
अरे बट वो भी सैटेलाइट से ही जाके आ रहा है ना.
नहीं, so I looked this up. I was like, why deep space signal coming but my signal not coming? They literally told me it's this according to the internet. Okay, internet said so. That there are less obstacles between that signal and Earth than between my house and Mahada.
अच्छा. The skyscraper is interrupting. No, but like it's insane to see because you're seeing that far back
Yeah.
into the past, like billions of years ago, almost formations of stars as they were right after Big Bang type situation, galaxies, star clusters, and हम लोग अमेज हो गए थे लास्ट जब ये एपिसोड कर रहे थे when we had they had pictured a black hole जो मेदू वड़ा दिख रहा था. ठीक है अभी तू ये वाले अगर तू इमेजेस देखेगा it is fucking
साथ में सांबर
सांभर चटनी मसाला डोसा insane clarity of fucking images. I'm like ये कैसे कर रहे हैं लोग यार इतने casually.
casually.
और ऐसे 20 साल पहले प्लान बना है.
आईफोन.
हाँ?
आईफोन.
तो ऐसे अच्छा एक काम कर तू जा डीप स्पेस उधर तू ऑर्बिट में घूम फोटो लेते रहे. जूम इन कर जूम आउट कर
पैनोरामा.
उधर जाके फिल्टर डाल रहे जूनो
पेरिस.
So you know one other thing, it's a little tangent. I was going to say tangential, but it's worth talking about, which is that it's so easy for people to confuse astronomy with astrology. Right? Because astrology sounds like the correct word. It's a biology, zoology, astrology. Right? And then you have astronomy, way different. Right? It's basically the difference is that astronomy mein you are seeing how things are affecting planets.
Astronomy.
Huh.
I'm seeing.
Yeah, you are seeing. And then astrology is where Mars is seeing you.
So technically that should be astronomy.
Astronomy. Another astrology.
Yeah. One is astronomy and then the other is
I think they wanted to
astrology.
go with astrology, लेकिन ये सब पंडित पहले पहुंच गए उधर कि देख भाई हम लोगों ने एस्ट्रोलॉजी ले लिया. अरे यार फिर नासा सोच रहे क्या बोल रहे हो इसको, कुछ चेंज करना पड़ेगा.
सोचना तू नासा में काम कर रहा है और तेरे को रोज कोई बोल रहा है कि
सर राहु में केतु घुस गया. सॉरी व्हाट आर यू सेइंग? सर आपके शनि की महादशा चल रही है.
मार्स इज इन थर्ड हाउस.
It's in the third house. Mars has 3 houses. Fuck is going on? Houston, we have a problem.
Jupiter is personally invested in your life कि मैं इसका गाड़ कैसे
हाँ, मारूंगा तेरे को. तू देख अब आज दिखा, अभी मैं थोड़ा इधर घूमूंगा ना, फिर देख तेरे लाइफ में क्या होता है.
By the way, astrology little ahead of astronomy because they never claimed that Pluto does anything because they knew
It's not a planet.
Pluto is not a planet.
आपके प्लूटो की महादशा लगी है. What does that mean? मतलब no problem, boss. क्योंकि प्लूटो की महादशा लग ही नहीं सकती. प्लूटो कुछ है ही नहीं.
प्लूटो बहुत दूर है.
Instead of all these images, na, I feel like the Voyager and all these probe missions, they should send back your horoscope.
अच्छा वो वहां से हॉरोस्कोप भेज रहा है. वो इंटरस्टेलर स्पेस से भेज रहे. देख आज टुडे समथिंग गुड विल हैपन. आप बात कर रहे थे वॉयेजर वहां से बोल रहा है.
बट वॉयेजर ने बोला है तो 2 दिन लेट.
अरे मतलब कुछ हुआ था. शिट आई हैड गुड लक.
And only for Gemini.
Which is also a mission.
But you know, I found some like in our research on space, and one of the key parts of space is astronaut, right? क्योंकि अगर एस्ट्रोनॉट जा भी नहीं है तो क्या चल रहा है ऊपर. अपने भी थोड़ी
पानी
पब्लिक
पीने के टाइम तो ये सब मत बोल. Key part of space is astronaut.
एस्ट्रोनॉट तो भाई मेन है ना.
One sec. Can I just talk about this? The European Space Agency is going to be sending another telescope called the Euclid. It's a telescope, right? Or it's a thing. So they're sending.
It's a telescope or it's a thing.
So it's going to join the James Webb. All right. So it's going to join the James Webb, and it's going to basically 3D map the sky, the solar system.
3D
in
map
that,
it.
3D map it. So that
तो फिर मेरे Google Maps पे
गूगल मैप पे जो मार्स का डिस्टेंस only 6 months 4 days and 23
so
hours.
it's basically
take left from
moon
from Prabodhankar mark near moon.
after crossing Andheri East Bridge.
After
Use the
crossing
gravitational pull of Mercury
to get to the Sea of Tranquility.
And after refilling, if you still have
Fair warning. Sea of Tranquility is crowded because it is Sunday.
Gokle Bridge is shut. So and there's metro construction going on between Saturn and Uranus.
And if you spacewalk, it's 6 days more. But if you rover,
But there is a problem. All the debris from Mahadas is now floating between Saturn and Jupiter.
you think there is one astronaut who's manning a ship जो बाइक जैसे चलाता है. इधर से कट मार
और उधर एस्ट्रोनॉट बोल रहा है और कोई तो है ही नहीं.
So just
This is the scientific knowledge that
If you are an
got here.
astrophysicist, you can stop watching. If you're an astrology,
if you are an
astrologist,
astrophysicist, please send this to NASA.
NASA,
and say this
and
is
say we are sorry.
so what they're basically going to do is that they're going to make a 3D map of over 1/3 of the sky using visible and near infrared light to reveal far-flung galaxies with at least 4 times detail than any ground-based image.
मेरे को
So
समझ
it's
में नहीं
going to
आता
go
क्यों करते हैं. ये देखो इतना दूर वहाँ कुछ नहीं है. अरे यार क्या हो
No,
रहा है
it's the same reason. So I think I mean I know you're joking, but I'm just saying like
No, I'm not.
the desire for curiosity of how we're going to think is always because it is such a futile like experience that decades have to do it over and over and over and over again before you find a semblance of data that can sort of corroborate a theory that people have had 400 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Baba,
so
like I go through this cycle of hope and despair every time because I'll tell you what happens, okay? So I like first you have to start with the premise कि we have screwed over this planet, okay? This planet is तो पूरा mine bin करके काट बीट करके हो गया है. Okay, so everyone keeps telling you there's 20-30 years. So now the hope comes in where every time these astronomers go like, we have found a planet completely habitable, it's amazing, it's just like Earth but better. And then the next thing they say, it's about 15 billion light years away.
But don't worry, Lodha has started construction already. Avail your house on planet XC524.
And it will be available in 15 billion years. Delivery in 15 billion
But
light years.
EMI starts next month. बढ़ते रहे वेंचर कि कब ना कब तो जब भी पहला लोधा बनेगा XC512 पे वहां पर मैं एक 3 BHK.
You know what it will be called? Lodha Mumbai. Over there it will be called Lodha Mumbai.
And it will be
Upper Worli.
Upper Jupiter.
Upper Jupiter.
Lower Kronos.
But astronauts की जब भी हम बात कर रहे थे, you know, like sometimes you have to just sit and listen to their fucking stories, man.
Yeah.
Right? Because what they are experiencing, right, is something
A fraction of the
0.0001%
correct.
of the human race will be able to see. Even something as basic as ऊपर का और नीचे देख रहा है, fuck
wait.
Earth, क्या मस्त दिख रहा है.
Wait for
the circumference of the earth
Just to see that from there, matlab it's mind blowing.
Correct.
Okay, just to suddenly feel weightless and start doing is mind blowing. So
एक मिनट तू तो हर सैटरडे को वेटलेस होता
लेकिन वो बार वाला काउंटेड नहीं है ठीक है. So weightless मजा आया.
अरे
I can't wait to do this next Friday again.
देख एक मिनट उधर भी 9G पे वॉमिट होता है तेरा भी 9G पे वॉमिट होता है.
नहीं मेरे को एस्ट्रोनॉट जितनी पगार नहीं मिल रही है.
एस्ट्रोनॉट वाली पगार.
तेरा CTC क्या है? देख यूजुअली मैं यू नो अर्थ में री एंट्री का लेता हूँ 500.
मेरा फेस CTC है.
On the moon even your tax is 160.
चलो मून चलो.
अरे ब्रो ये हम लोग ने फैक्ट बोला है बट वो वीजा छापा था वो लोग जब मून से वापस आया था. तो कस्टम्स की क्लियर किया था कि क्या लेके आए रॉक्स.
अबे ये पियेंगे कैसे? परफ्यूम नहीं मिला सर सॉरी. चॉकलेट नहीं ला सर. देखो क्या मून पे ना ऐसे ड्यूटी फ्री नहीं था एक्चुअली. हम कैसे तो जान बचा के आए हमारी. ठीक है आपका आधा रॉकेट नहीं चल रहा है एकदम वापस आप हमसे फॉर्म भरा रहे हो.
पर ये पिंक फ्लॉयड का एक CD मिला.
हाँ कहाँ मिला? डार्क साइड ऑफ द मून. Where were you? But you know sometimes you don't realize कि इन लोग ऐसे कैजुअली ऊपर जा रहे हैं. इंटरनेशनल जैसे स्कॉट केली 1 साल रह के आया. 1 साल ऑन द इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन. उस पे बहुत सारे पीरियड के लिए वो अकेला रहे. ठीक है. एंड तो ऐसे as a layman when you're watching it, oh wow ये कर रहा है. But the amount of rigorous training or whatever they have to go to, like if you're on the International Space Station, anybody going there also has to learn Russian. Because a big part, because it's like different countries that have come together और उन्होंने Lego बना के
It's called International Space Station. It's not called US Space Station.
And by the way, this is not Russian the way Thakur speaks it, which is something vodka.
Yes, how to re-enter. Just give.
No, it's not a
vodka
Russian accent is the point.
Huh?
It's not a Russian.
I cannot read Russian without a Russian accent.
Bulgari बोल.
I have to look at this. You give vodka to space station, it come down. Yeah, bas. Neil Armstrong.
Thakur in space.
How to re-enter from space station? You don't. Gun.
Yes, just kill. It's no problem.
Sir, why is there a bear on the space station?
Just we want actual feel of Russia, so we have a bear. It's this Lenin. Sir, Lenin मर चुका है. Yeah, that's conspiracy. He's actually alive. So they have to learn Russian, right?
There's tremendous training, dude. Psychological mapping, this, that, lots of.
देखो पता है once you're in space for that long, when you come down, तेरा height में difference होता है. So you grow by about 3% tall.
3/4 of an inch, I thought.
3% था शायद.
Okay.
Whatever. Your height is 3% higher than what it was when you had gone.
You're also technically some like some 0.75 seconds younger or something like that.
By the way, you know how they discovered this 3% increase? Because Scott Kelly had a twin brother.
Yeah.
तो उसको side by side खड़ा किया.
But इतना imagine ना स्कॉट केली के भाई को बोला तू जमीन पे रह और तू ऊपर जा. सर मेरा पगार कितना है? तेरे को पगार क्यों है? जूते वो ऊपर तू बैठ इधर ही.
So
वैसे
no,
में।
but
मेरे
speaking,
घर में अर्जुन आएंगे नहीं,
speaking of Scott Kelly, the thing is, it's not just in this 1 year. The problem is in space ऐसा एक नट भी खो जाएगा ना तो इट्स अ प्रॉब्लम. इट्स नॉट कि ऐसा बाजू वाले दुकान से लेके आ, राइट?
अर्बन क्लैब को बोला और अर्बन क्लैब आ रहा है. हाँ सर ओटीपी क्या है? अबे
एसी फिक्स.
सर एक्चुअली आपके एसी में प्रॉब्लम है. मेरे पास एसी नहीं है. जैसे क्या है ना सर, उधर वो मॉइस्चर आता है इसलिए खराब हो जाता है. आपको गैस भरना पड़ेगा वापस. गैस भरना पड़ेगा.
लेकिन
सर, इसका
स्पेस में गैस ही नहीं है. स्पेस में गैस ही नहीं है.
अच्छा काम कर जाता हूँ, नल भी करते भाई प्लीज. इतना ऊपर आएगा ये तो, क्योंकि एक आदमी अपने सामान के साथ ऊपर रॉकेट में लेके जाने में कितना पैसा लगता है मालूम है तुमको?
Bro, उधर जाने के बाद एस्ट्रोनॉट रेटिंग बढ़
हाँ रेटिंग 4.
और खराब रेटिंग.
खराब रेटिंग.
बट
और ये री एंट्री कर रहा है, फोन देख रहा है. फक 2 स्टार क्या मार.
अरे लेकिन मैं तेरे को 2 स्टार दिया, लाइक लिटरली फिजिकली 2 स्टार्स.
वो कितने स्टार्स है देख, मिलियन स्टार्स फॉर यू. अरे सर थैंक यू. Like astronauts, apart from going through like a rigorous training and all of that, they also have very human problems, day-to-day problems. But the difference is that you're encountering this in space. So one of the astronauts, I think they were on the moon at that point, and he's talking to his partner, and he has literally said, "I have got a bad case of the farts." ठीक है, छोले वोले खाए होंगे, कोई IRCTC का खाना खा के गया होगा, और ऊपर जाके पादेश. एक्सेप्ट अनलाइक ऐसे से एक बट चिकुटा के पादेश नॉट, वो तो एस्ट्रोनॉट सूट में
तो ऊपर आ रहा है.
तो इधर तू खुद सुन, ही इज हिज ओन डच ओवन बेसिकली. तो कैन यू इमेजिन, तो पादने का है ब्रो, कैसे करेगा?
नहीं कर सकते
पादेश.
So the interesting thing about this is genuinely there is a fact कि they are told not to have beans.
Yeah.
Before take off.
राजमा मत खाओ भाई.
Because genuinely, at same reason why in flights also they don't give you beans.
Yeah.
Generally.
No, they do.
Oh,
They do.
those are the flights that turn back.
Yep.
Okay, now listen to this. Okay, since you've opened this topic, now it's time to talk about this. I'll just read the headline first. Okay, NASA just sent a new space toilet to the International Space Station. This cost $23 million. Okay. Sandas. Now, it's a beautiful thing to talk about because this toilet is known as a universal waste management system. Okay. Now, what's interesting about this is that when you think of space travel, you think of all the grandiose parts of it, right? The actual wonder of leaving Earth, seeing
And
space.
the granular part.
But then there is the larger than life aspect of space travel,
Yeah.
and then there's the true to life aspect of space travel, which is the nitty-gritties of human function, right? तू space में है, तू you will do your business.
सांस लेगा, ये सब तो है. हाँ.
So now the thing is that they live in zero gravity. Now when you do your business in zero gravity, it floats
Everywhere.
right? So things have gotten a little better, including this waste management system and shit like that. Back in the day, it was primitive. So when they were sending people in the 60s, right, they were peeing in this sheath, like a condom-like sheath. उसमें वो लोग पी कर रहा है, उसको बांध के पकड़ के डाल रहा है. Okay. When they were taking a dump, they had to wear a diaper-like thing. Okay. Now there was one astronaut whose diaper was slightly loose.
Oh.
तो उसका निकल गया है.
तो उसका लेंडुक फ्लोट हो रहा है.
Lindu floater. Now there is an actual transcript with NASA where he's saying, "Boys, give me the napkin. There's a turd floating around." And then the parts that are cut out are, hey, उधर देख. अच्छा इधर. अरे पकड़.
मुंह बंद कर.
अरे ब्रो क्या है ये?
अरे आज पाव भाजी बनी है. अरे नहीं चुदिया पाव भाजी.
एक बंदा सो रहा है, उठ रहा है.
सर मेरा ब्रेकफास्ट. सर वो ब्रेकफास्ट नहीं है, आप सो जाओ वापस.
So now the thing is that how do they devise this toilet? It is a suction based equipment.
सो एक पाइप लेके घुसे
नहीं.
More or less.
नहीं, तू लगा रहा है ना.
There is a suction, literally.
A suction cup.
Okay, that's what's happening now. So when you do your business on the International Space Station, it gets sucked into a bag. Okay, and there are 30 bags that are there, and these bags are shot into space.
Wow.
So there is a chance that in the future.
तू स्पेस वॉक कर रहा है सामने
No, you know what?
क्या है बाबा
I think
मेरे
that there is
आँख के
a
सामने-
chance that this shit at some point will enter some planet's gravity and enter into the gravity.
and that's how living
The
organisms
living organism will mix
Bro,
with carbon dating.
No.
Or someone's making food and
Bro, that's how the first alien invasion will happen. There is one civilization with that punch.
लोग खेल लोगे ये हैप्पी बर्थ चल निकाल प्रकाश चल निकाल स्पेसशिप
तू घोड़े पे आ रहा है स्पेसशिप
I देखो you don't know there are a lot of advanced civilizations that are out there.
So, no,
but
but-
thing with piss. So earlier when they used to piss, right, it goes to this container, and from the side of the spacecraft or whatever, it's literally it's sprayed out.
spray. Yeah.
It's sprayed out.
Yeah.
So when people say you can't smell in space and all of that, I said, "Nahi, bhai, you can smell, taste, feel. Depends on what part of orbit."
No, but you know,
you're circling.
sometimes they also like, you know, a lot of times there's stuff where just payloads that are going up and coming.
Don't call them payloads.
Just call it load.
No, I'm calling it a payload in terms of. So like
Somebody has payload and then they have let go of the load and now they have to pay for the load.
so
Payload is
no.
funny.
This happened. This
इसका तो
happened.
बनेगा reel.
This happened in Apollo 13. Okay, so Apollo 13, for example, they were lighter on the re-entry. Not because they had payload, but I'm saying they were lighter on the re-entry because they had accounted कि वो लोग जब आएगा तब ऐसा 10 किलो रॉक लेके आने वाला है, लेकिन लैंड ही नहीं हुआ. तो now you have to account for 10 because 10 kilos can
Everything
take you
is-
in
yes.
one, like, you know, off. Suddenly you're bouncing off the gravity of the earth and
Yeah.
going into the distance. So it's this kind of shit where you need to be prepared for like contingency after contingency after contingency after contingency to be able to adjust so many things when you're coming in. So I mean, it's extremely sort of difficult. In fact, even when the first woman went up in space, right, the first female astronaut, right, and from then on, the concept of okay, you can pee in a bag is with a man is okay, you can, but for a woman it's not that easy. So those kind of developments, and you start thinking about it and stuff like that, that's when you're really evolving waste management
There was
systems.
one. There's a comic. Okay, she's an international comic. I don't know. I forget her name. She's done this song. Okay, it's very funny. Please, if you can find it, look it up and put it in the comments. It's a great song. Okay, the song is about one of the first few female astronauts that they sent up to space. Okay, so NASA was like, okay, we're sending a woman to space. So they have different biological needs. So we have to give tampons with her. So they gave her 100 tampons.
Wow.
So her whole song is 100 tampons.
Song is one. It's so tampon.
कि तू meaning like just miscalculation.
It's like 100 tampons sat on a wall. If one of the tampons happened to fall, there'd be 99 tampons left on the wall.
वैसे देख रहे बोल रहे एक मिनट ये as a man send this to me. Yes, okay. It explains it.
Makes
We
sense.
need more women at
मैं क्या
NASA,
करूँ
please.
इस-
But I think
Bro, so there was John Young, this another astronaut, okay? He smuggled something to space.
What did he smuggle?
Guess what he must
Heroin.
have smuggled? Heroin. Space में करे ये why can't I find a vein? Yeah, because you're fucking puncturing your
क्या? What did he do?
sandwich.
Sandwich.
So
very
sandwich इतना important है John Young के लिए कि he has smuggled it and taken, and there's actual transcripts where he's saying corned beef sandwich. Where did that come from? I bought it with me. Let's see how it tastes. Smells, doesn't it? Yes, it's breaking up. I'm going to stick it in my pocket. Is it? It was thought anyway. Yep, not a very good one. Pretty good though if you just hold it together. Want some chicken leg? No, you can't handle that. Actual transcripts.
Wow. The
ठीक है, and-
mundanity of this.
No, and to sandwich लेके जा रहा है. See, most of the food that you will get outside, right, it'll be in powdered form or something like that, right? That's where most of the inventions also have. Tang, wang, अपन ने बात किया था last time. So, and it's very I don't know the term for it, but it's तो ऐसे बैठ के सैंडविच चटनी के अंदर डुबा के नहीं
correct. It's portioned and
सैंडविच
it's
भी मिल रहा है तो
proper.
ऐसा कुछ एक बिस्किट मिलेगा सैंडविच का कि अरे इतना खा ले, तो उसके अंदर तू अगर ये लेके जा रहा है यू कैन एक्चुअली नियरली किल एवरीबडी एल्स ऑन बोर्ड. कुछ फट गया है, डिसइंटीग्रेट हो गया, यू डोंट नो हाउ ग्रेविटी एक्ट्स ऑन सैंडविच.
Correct.
राइट. तेरा
और बॉम्बे सैंडविच है तो ऐसा बटर चटनी सब गिर रहा है.
ऊपर सेब है, थोड़ा किसी के आंख में जा रहा है.
समोसा जो निकलेगा
और वो सैंडविच पेलो करके फिर जो पेलोड निकलेगा.
No, but you were talking about how many times on re-entry you can also go off course.
Yeah.
Right? So a bunch of Russian cosmonauts, when on re-entry, they drifted off track and they have gone to Siberia. और साइबेरिया के फ्रोजन माउंटेनस एरियाज में 2 हफ्ते के लिए उन लोग पपल रहे. कि भाई
After
कोई
coming
आके
from international space station.
सोचना, ऐसा भी नहीं है कि तू किधर एक्चुअली साइबेरिया गया था, तू ऊपर गया है वेयर एनीवे फ्रिजिड टेम्परेचर, देन यू कम डाउन टू साइबेरिया एंड यू आर मोर स्कैर्ड अबाउट बीइंग इन साइबेरिया
Correct.
than you are on being at the space station.
So there was there's a thing that happens in space. Okay, it's called space stupids. Okay, now this is something that astronauts undergo when they're in these conditions. Okay, so what space stupids is essentially a disorientation that these astronauts feel, and part of it comes from being in zero gravity. Okay, like for example, so you are completely oriented to our gravity and our reality.
Correct.
कि जब मैं ऐसे खड़ा हूँ तो जमीन नीचे है और रूफ
आज मैं ऊपर आसमान नीचे. Come on.
Yes, perfect setup. So now what happens in the space station is कि you get this disorientation जिधर तू खड़ा है, okay, और you walk into one room. Say you are the right way up, okay, and you float into one room और बाकी सब लोग ऊपर है, तो तेरे को लगता है तू चुती है.
अरे मतलब ऐसे उल्टे टंगे हुए क्या कर रहे हैं हम, योगा कर रहे हैं. अरे
So
और फिर क्रिस्टोफर नोलन आके बोलता है एंड कट डब सब गिरता है नीचे.
so you get this constant sense of like disorientation.
Yeah.
कि you're like, I don't know what I'm doing, what is my orientation, how to do it. So what that leads to is like sometimes you get hallucinations, sometimes you get like this weird shit is happening. Like this bunch of astronauts, they went to the space station, all of them started having the sensory thing where they started smelling something was burning. Okay, or
वो space smells like gunpowder.
Yeah, they said that, correct.
no, but ऐसा
Yeah,
window
this
नहीं
was
खोला
different.
था
हाँ,
उन लोग.
correct.
Okay, so they're smelling something and they go like, please take us down, something is burning, we don't want to die. And they came back down. पता चला this was all in their heads because of this disorientation.
But it's, I mean, sorry, finish it.
But you're talking about disorientation in space. I mean, it is extremely it makes total sense because there is something called, and I'm saying in isolation or whatever here, there's something called ICU delirium.
Oh yeah?
Okay. And ICU delirium is caused by many things. So, for example, when you're in the ICU, first of all, lights are on all the time. People are roaming around all the time. There are no windows. So, you're hardly getting to sleep. You don't have clocks. You don't know what day it is. So, what's ending up happening is that your brain is constantly facing light. Your brain is constantly facing noise, so there's no rest period. At some point, your brain is getting exhausted. So ICU delirium is a thing that happens on Earth. So I'm saying in space, obviously.
Dude, the same thing happened with the Chinese astronaut, okay? One of the first guys to be flown by the Chinese Space Agency. So obviously there's so much pressure, right? You're the first guy going up, plus it was a solo flight. बिकॉज यूजली मैं यहाँ से बैंड्रा भी जा रहा हूँ तो कोई साथ में हुआ तो मजा आता. अभी स्पेस जा रहा हूँ तो कोई चाहिए ना कि अगर मेरे को कुछ हो गया तो ये भाई संभाल लेगा. ये अकेले जाए ऊपर, ठीक है. तो इसकी वैसे भी फटी हुई है, पूरा चाइना भेज रहा है.
Bro, this cost cutting that is taking place.
हाँ, चाइना ने हमारा एक आदमी संभालेगा. सर इसमें 6,500 बटन है, 2 हाथ से ज्यादा लेकिन नो he'll do it, don't worry. और उसका वो भेज दिया ऊपर, ठीक है. भाई स्पेस में चले गए. एक टाइम के बाद जाके he's there, everything good, नीचे रिपोर्ट भेज रहा है कि या सुपर फैंटास्टिक. फिर उसको आवाज़ आता है. एंड वॉट ही डिस्क्राइब द साउंड वॉज दैट इट्स लाइक टेकिंग अ वुडन लकड़ी एंड हिटिंग इट ऑन लाइक अ स्टील का टिन, लाइक आयरन स्टील का टिन, और उस पर ठम ठम मार रहे हैं ना, वैसा आवाज़ आ रहा है. तो उसको एक बार आया तो इमेजिन तेरी कितनी फटेगी. अगर तू अपने घर पे बैठा है और अंधेरे में कुछ आवाज़ आया तो तेरी फट जाती है. पर एटलीस्ट तू दरवाजा बंद कर सकता है. तू स्पेस में क्या करेगा?
तू लाइट ऑन कर सकता.
लाइट ऑन कर कुछ तो फोन उधर कौन आ रहा है ऊपर, तो उसकी फट रही है. तो ही इज ट्राइंग टू लाइक नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है. एंड एक बार हुआ, 2 बार हुआ, 3 बार हुआ, वो कुछ 27 घंटे के लिए था ब्रो ऊपर, और ये होते जा रहा है।
Constantly.
ठीक है, पीरियोडिक इंटरवल्स में। तो इसकी फट गई, ही कांट इवन लाइक रिपोर्ट नीचे कि चाइना का ह्यूस्टन वी हैव अ प्रॉब्लम, राइट? नहीं नहीं है, तू बोल नहीं सकता, बिकॉज द मिनट एज एन एस्ट्रोनॉट यू एग्जिबिटेड दोज सॉर्ट ऑफ थिंग्स, योर चांसेस ऑफ बीइंग ऑन द नेक्स्ट फ्लाइट आउट आर सिग्निफिकेंटली लेसर.
Correct.
So this guy has not said a word. How is everything? Great. Having a great time. All good? Fantastic. You sure?
His voice is shaking. Yeah, good.
Yeah. This is great. No, I totally can't hear anyone knocking. Sorry, what? I'll come knocking down soon.
No, so by the way, तब तक उधर 27 घंटे के लिए जादू बेचारा नॉक करे जा रहा है.
अरे अंदर तो आने दे. हेलो, Chinese astronaut.
Bro, टॉयलेट है क्या तेरे पास?
अरे मैं थोड़ा दही चाहिए था से वो. हेलो.
फिर एक्चुअली क्या था साउंड?
No, so that
It was a hallucination.
They've attributed that to
Hallucination.
Space
hallucinations. Wouldn't call it stupid, yeah, बिचारा उसके actually फटके हाथ. But many other astronauts have also spoken about this having.
No, so space stupid is not calling them stupid. It's like a term
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
disoriented,
Yeah,
like space stupids.
Yeah.
So like there's one interesting thing in this article which was about at some point in the future there will be a spacecraft with people on it, and at some point in the future someone will give birth to a kid on that spaceship.
Correct.
Now, what will be interesting is that kid will be born into this atmosphere and will be oriented to that. So, the thought experiment would be...
अरे समीर ऊपर दे.
There was a show. It's a Korean show called Sea of something. I think it's called Sea of Tranquility only, or one of those. It's called Sea of something, where they were moon babies.
Yeah. So they will be like like how NRIs are to us. कि जब वो लोग अर्थ पे आएंगे ना, और तुम लोग ऐसा रेगुलर ग्रेविटी में जीता है या हाँ इंटरेस्टिंग. हम लोग तो सिर्फ मिनरल ग्रेविटी में.
Yeah. It would be a great thought experiment to.
But talk about babies, like obviously like the minute space program started all across the world और public इधर जा रहा है, तो conspiracy theory तो भाई मैं आ रहा हूँ तुम्हारे पीछे, right? So especially the first moon landing, right?
अरे
Because
उसका तो
nothing
ये
described
बात
it
कर चुके
better.
हम लोग in every single way.
वापस बात करेंगे because ये हमने बोला नहीं है.
Oh.
ठीक है. सबसे पहले तो greatest onion headline came after they landed on the moon because it said holy shit man lands on fucking moon. ठीक है. तो उस पे you had like a live stream, right? वो vlog कर रहा था ऊपर से नील आर्मस्ट्रॉन्ग. तो उसके बीच में थोड़ा सा टेप गायब था.
Correct.
तो जैसे गायब हो गया conspiracy theories है आए, अरे ये हो रहा था वो
Stanley Kubrick is saying cut.
हाँ ये सब चल रहा है. One of the things that we actually hadn't spoken about was apparent transcripts of Neil Armstrong.
You were about to say Neil deGrasse Tyson.
नहीं. Neil Armstrong saying that he has seen people and the babies are huge.
लेकिन वो जब अर्थ पे आया उसको साइलेंस कर दिया. ये जब वो अर्थ पे आया तो साइलेंस कर दिया. ओके.
नहीं ये किधर प्रूफ क्या है तेरे पास? एक कोई बैठ के लिख रहा है नागपुर में कि एक काम कर इससे बेबीज आर बिग बोला होगा, तो वो भी फैल गया. And it was one of the नागपुर
यूएस का नागपुर.
Oklahoma. So that was one of the things that it's a very
What do you think? What do you think happened to that missing? क्या बोल रहा है उधर?
अरे ब्रो,
I तो think he cursed. I तो
no,
think he went
it's not the
like,
section. अरे चल ही नहीं पा रहा.
No, this is also true. The fact that when like it's the version we've heard is that Neil Armstrong goes there, says that iconic line that one small step for man,
one
giant
small
leap
step
for
for
mankind.
man,
There's a scratch before.
giant leap for mankind.
Right? And you imagine, like, you can see, like, there's a photograph of the person standing in the spacewalk and all that. But a lot of astronauts who've been outside a space shuttle and on like solid ground, for them, like a lot of them report ki we stumble because you have no idea
How
what
to
work.
what that.
No matter
thing
how
is
much simulation you've gone through on Earth, you can. Space is space, boss.
But for PR, it's such a terrible thing, na? Ki आदमी लैंड होता है, निकलता है बाहर, one giant stumble for mankind.
फिसल के गिर गया. केला किसने फेंका इधर?
बस.
No, but like they've also reported seeing, एक तो aliens देखा है हमने, glowing object देखा, spacecraft देखा. One astronaut had said that he saw a space snake.
What?
Which is probably the freakiest thing
That's
I've
crazy.
heard. I am, मतलब एक तो space freaky, ठीक है, उधर you can die अगर तेरे इसमें पंचर हो गया या तेरा जो ये
There are
लगा हुआ है या
million
तेरे
ways of
वो-
dying, yeah.
so many things, एस्ट्रोनॉट आके तेरे को मार दिया, ये सब के बीच में in
एक
case you weren't scared enough, एक सांप आ रहा है.
Waiting
8
for
फुट का.
Samuel L. Jackson to do snakes on a spaceship.
Station, बाप मूवी होगा, ठीक है, 8 फुट का white snake. Now I forget the astronaut's name, but his credentials were very
Legit.
प्रॉपर कि नहीं ये थोड़ी ऐसा कंस्पिरेसी फैलाएगा. Multiple space flights, you know, years in the air force, ये वो वाला सब है. So he's somebody you would take seriously. So people have attributed him seeing the snake, space snake, to you
some
know,
cable or something.
Yeah, one of the cables that has gotten loose. This that.
That's great, yeah.
Yeah, which seems like a very plausible explanation.
Or like
but
an
this astronaut is saying no. It was a space snake. Confirm.
And the second astronaut on the plane was, अरे मैं बस कपड़े उतारा था यार.
Alien snake.
No, but
So-
like that would be so freaky to just randomly
100%.
see a fucking snake floating around in space.
Bro, if I saw a snake here, I'd be freaking out.
Yeah, हाँ.
So,
But like, you know, it also is like, what is, like, for me, it's also a very goofy image that there is one snake just slithering in space.
जिंदा कैसे अभी?
वही तो,
क्या खा रहा है?
कि तू क्या कर रहा है भाई स्पेस?
मालूम पड़ा वो एक्चुअली अरमान को लिए फ्रॉम जाने दुश्मन. वसुंधरा में आऊँ. But you know, like a lot of the animals that were sent up in space, apparently you can see their floating dead bodies if you happen to be in that same orbital path. तो तेरा वो कुत्ता भेजा था, फिर वो बंदर भेजा है, तो उन लोग float हो रहे हैं apparently.
Of
अभी
course.
तक.
Also, by the way, so there's one very funny video that keeps doing the rounds. The video
Diwali?
is this. नहीं.
like in the orbit.
No. Yeah, on the internet orbit. So the video is this. It's basically, the first half of the video shows people dropping cats from different heights. Not like from floors, but like from just like different heights. And every time the cat falls, it, no matter how
Lands
close
on its
you...
feet.
Yeah, it always lands on its feet. Then the video abruptly cuts to zero gravity. Okay, और वो cat को छोड़ता है. Cat को पता नहीं क्या करना है.
Cat का दिमाग घूम गया होगा bro होटल में कि 1 मिनट ये क्या, ये अभी मैं लैंड कैसे करूँ? ये किधर ऐसे जीरो ग्रेविटी एक रूम
Simulation.
Yeah, it's quite something. By the way, so there is one very interesting thing that's happened. Okay, and I'll just read the headline first, and then I'll tell you about it. Headline is NASA investigating first crime committed in space.
Wow.
What is that? Smuggling the sandwich?
No, so it's like, firstly, just to pause and go back a little bit. Think about the idea of crime committed in space. तू किसके jurisdiction में डालेगा?
Yeah.
So there's literally like, what are you going to do? It's like, meaning if there's a crime committed in Bombay, you have to figure out which is the right police station to file it in.
They also have that hack ना, when you're on like a cruise ship or whatever, अगर तू मार के
international
फेंक
waters.
दिया तो
International water.
इंटरनेशनल वाटर है, किसी का कुछ नहीं है.
किसी का भाई,
तो-
किसी
तो
का.
किसी का मर्डर, किसी का बच गया.
So now the crime was basically this. Okay, so there's an astronaut called Anne McLean. Okay, she had separated from her partner, and when this personal thing
Feud.
this thing was happening in her life, she was sent to space, into the International Space
Oh
Station.
fuck. Going through a divorce.
Yeah, either
But to space.
either divorce or तेरे को मिल गया है space और तू distance लेके
Culties.
पहुंच गया है space station में. Now she accessed her partner's financial records from the computer in space.
Oh.
So the partner filed a case saying she has impersonated me and wrongful violation of my privacy.
Correct.
Oh wow.
तो जब वो land हुई है, तो first, oh amazing, got back all of this, and secondly पुलिस आ गया.
चलो भाई. मैंने सुना आप इंटरनेशनल स्पेस स्टेशन पे बैंक ऑफ बड़ौदा
Hiking कर रहे हैं? So now whose jurisdiction is the case in?
So they're figuring, I mean, I don't know the full this thing of it, but yeah,
Great,
that's the
Great fact.
First crime in space.
No, there's also I just want to talk about like 2 or 3 things. One is the missions that are sort of going up. So the Chandrayaan 3 is going to go up in August. The Russians are sending also in July. The Russians are sending it's called Luna 25. Okay,
It's a bike.
no, Luna 25. Luna 25. So the Luna 25 is going to go up in July. All right. It's obviously following the Luna 24.
That's quite shocking.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
How
the Luna
24
went up in 1976.
Yeah, but उन्होंने सब मून का सब बंद कर
मैं
दिया था
समझ
ना।
रहा हूँ, लेकिन तू नया गाड़ी बना ना, तू चेंज कर देना. Luna 25 क्यों डालने का तेरे को?
अरे,
Call
it's
it
like-
whatever. Because Luna 25 is technically the first Russian spaceship to whatever thing to land on the moon. Because it was USSR when it sent it up. So by the way, there's another thing called peregrine is going to go to something called the Lacus Mortis, which literally translates to the lake of death.
Wow.
So
There was,
it's further
there was
north.
one other fun fact that you were telling me. There's some space agency that's sending up.
Oh, I'll come to it. Okay, so now there
But
is
wait,
a
I want to talk about this Lacus Mortis.
yes,
It translates to lake of death.
correct.
उन्होंने बोला ये मिशन
हम लोग
करना
lake of death
पड़ेगा।
भेजेंगे. हाँ.
हाँ, anybody interested? Yes sir, what is the mission? We're going to this beautiful place. Yes sir, but what's the name of the place? Lacus Mortis? Sorry, what? Lacus Mortis? What does that mean? It means lake of death.
Yeah, it's right next to the
Alright.
mountain of annihilation and the plateau of never coming back.
Never coming back. Yes sir, sign me up. How
And
come
the
you
road-
want to go?
and then
Sir,
the
I'm
road-
having divorce proceeding with wife.
No.
Whether I go to Lacus Mortis or go home, it's the same.
And
I'd rather
how
go
do you
there.
get there? You take the road of despair. No, so the
Yeah,
one.
बहुत funny.
So the one thing that I want to talk about. So there is a private company that is obviously now everyone is sending space missions privately. Yeah. So there's this company called Astrobotic. Okay, Astrobotic. It's heading to the moon for the first time in 2023. All right. Now, yeah. So they're saying we are ready to offer transport for whatever kind of
Goods
thing
you want to send.
goods you want to send, government and commercial, whatever you want to send, and you can send science equipment, R&D equipment, personal items also you can send. तो तेरे को ऐसा तेरा बॉबल हेड भेजने का है मून पे तो तू भेज सकता है, लेकिन what is the price?
हाँ.
Sticker price for putting payload in.
But हाँ, like weight कितना है payload का कितना?
No. So whatever you
baggage
want.
का कितना लगेगा?
नहीं. Excess baggage no.
हाँ, ये
Bro,
तो है।
regular baggage का. This is
हाँ,
like
मतलब-
low cost airline.
हाँ, तो
$1.2 million per kg.
Oh wow, cool.
और तो थोड़ा
Cool.
एक्स्ट्रा एक्सेस किया ना
Cool.
तो तेरे को एस्ट्रोनॉट बन के पहनना पड़ेगा तेरे सब कपड़ा.
हाँ, जैसे मैं यूके से जब वापस आया था 8 जैकेट पहन
सर आप 4 हेलमेट क्यों पहने हो?
जस्ट वी वांट टू बी एक्स्ट्रा सेफ.
क्योंकि $1.1 million एक्स्ट्रा भरना पड़ेगा.
1.1
million per kg, and you can send a bobblehead.
But I
on
like how
Astrobotic.
Astrobotics is just sending. कि मैं भेज रहा हूँ, किसी को कुछ चाहिए क्या? ऐसा नहीं कि पहले पूछ लूँ, सबसे ऑर्डर सिक्योर कर लूँ, मेरे पैसे आ जाए. नहीं, हम भेज रहे हैं. उनको किसी को कुछ डालना है 1.5 million में तो आप डाल सकते हैं. श्रुति, ये क्या चल रहा है?
So what would you send to space if you had to?
Nothing. Me. बट मैं 10 किलो का नहीं है. नहीं 10 नहीं, 1 किलो है.
एक
तो मुझे 77 kilos एक्सेस लगेज भरना पड़ेगा.
No, you can send 77, but you have to
अरे
then pay
me,
77.77.
I'm
70, whatever, $80 million you have to pay.
Cool. Will do. Will do.
और फिर भी तेरे को थैली में पार्सल करेगा वो लोग, ऐसा तेरे को स्पेस सूट नहीं दे रहे वो लोग.
Asphyxiate हो रही है.
कार्गो होल्ड.
Call mart. Maresh. But you know, they like even almost sci-fi movie plots are coming to life, right? We've all seen Armageddon.
Yeah.
Correct.
Bruce Willis जाके asteroid फोड़ेश.
Correct.
जो अर्थ के तरफ आ रहा है.
Correct.
Right? अभी we are seriously talking about asteroid deflection
Yes,
techniques.
technology.
Right? कि नहीं, there are a lot of near earth objects. एक तो आके लगने वाला है अपने को, तो अपन भेजते हैं यहाँ से जो asteroid को मारेगा और asteroid turn ले लेगा किधर और किधर.
Correct.
Japan did this. They had their Hayabusa mission, right? So what Hayabusa did is that mission was they sent the
Hayabusa sent a bike.
bike with John Abraham. Dhoom chale.
That should have been the Luna mission.
It should have been. It went to the asteroid. The asteroid is called Ryugu. Okay, and the mission was to land on the asteroid, take samples from it, come back to Earth so that it can be studied by the scientists in Japan.
Oh.
ये मिशन है और किसी को बोला चल लग काम पे. They actually successfully managed to do it, bro.
So
Not surprising.
Where does the bike come in?
No, after
No,
On the
but what is surprising about this is that dart blew up an asteroid and stuff like that. No, now by the way, there is another space mission called Psyche. NASA is sending a what is it going to be called? I don't know. They're sending a spacecraft called Psyche to an asteroid called Psyche.
Oh wow.
So imagine the amount of miscommunication that's going to happen.
साइकिल निकल गया हाँ निकल गया. अरे यार उसको रोक. नहीं वो तो एस्ट्रॉइड. एक मिनट सर, आप किसकी बात कर रहे हैं? आप टेक्नोलॉजी की बात कर रहे हैं कि एस्ट्रॉइड की बात कर रहे हैं?
So they're sending Psyche to Psyche. Now Psyche is an asteroid. Okay. Psyche, the asteroid,
Yes.
is not like other asteroids, which is just made up of rock. It's actually made up of metal. So the hope is that we will discover how metals were sort of formed at the first, like in the Big Bang and things like that. So that Psyche to Psyche will go, and then it'll be like, sir, Psyche पे land हो गया.
अरे मेरी साइकिल हिल गई.
Yeah.
नहीं, but Ryugu did the same thing. It found like the contents of the asteroid had water and carbon. Again, essential things for life. और
अभी
ये भी
सिर्फ टट्टी डाल दो और potato.
आ रहा है वहाँ से. But there was another asteroid or something I read about some time back where if you're able to land on that and mine it, it's full diamond. ये सब है उस पे.
So we'll just come to
precious
that.
material.
Okay, so here's a list of some of the weirdest exoplanets in the universe. Okay, an exoplanet is essentially a planet that's outside our solar system. Okay, now
It's not a planet that's sending you an emoji XOXO.
no.
That's giving you a hug.
It's a hugs and kisses planet. सब उधर मिल के.
Okay, so basically there is a exoplanet called 55 Cancri, okay, or Cancri, I don't know. This is a diamond planet. So full planet made of diamond. Okay.
She just call it Tanishk. हीरा है सदा के लिए.
De Beers.
सिर्फ आपको उधर जाना पड़ेगा ऊपर.
So I feel like the natives of this planet, right? For them, diamond is commonplace.
Correct.
Right?
हाँ.
Diamond has no value.
Correct.
तो वो लोग जब प्रपोज कर रहे हैं ना, तो वो लोग धागे के साथ कर
हाँ, इधर आके कॉटन कर रही हूँ. वो ऐसे देख रही है
Wow,
उसकी.
such a-
Wow, this is amazing.
Yeah, so beautiful linen, real.
Wow. नहीं चूते नीचे आए. एक थोड़ा एस्ट्रोड आके लग के जाना चाहिए अपने. Without causing much damage, but giving diamonds.
So there is one more called TRES-2b. Okay, this is the darkest exoplanet out there. Right? So basically, this thing is 750 light years away, and it's the darkest known exoplanet, reflecting less than 1% of any light that.
So
hits
black
it.
hole.
Yeah, it's just like
Almost black hole.
yeah, उधर ऐसा perpetual.
उधर जाके jokes करने हैं.
Dark jokes. But,
Or as it's called on that planet.
Jokes.
bro, there is one planet whose like their year, quote unquote, that one revolution is 18 hours.
1 year.
Yeah. So
Oh, fuck.
So by the time you finish celebrating your birthday has
God,
come
Varun
again.
Thakur will never become sober only on that planet. He'll be like, "Arey bro, वापस में birthday bro."
So बर्थडे खत्म हुआ, घर पहुंचा. हैप्पी बर्थडे. हैप्पी बर्थडे. एक मिनट सर, थोड़ा मुझे किधर और जाना पड़ेगा क्योंकि मैं अभी 36 साल का हूँ.
मैं 1 मिनट सोने जा रहा हूँ वो एक्सो प्लेनेट में जिधर 1% लाइट. मेरे को लाइट से प्रॉब्लम है.
हाँ, पार्टी की है इस पे.
इस पे.
काले एक्सो प्लैनेट पे. For more such in-depth scientific facts and opinions, you can watch Neil deGrasse Tyson's YouTube channel. And for everything else, you can come back to us.
Subscribe. Thank you so much.
With that, it's the end of this episode of the Internet Said So. We were discussing some space/astronaut facts that we found. If you missed out on any, let us know in the comments. And make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, share, like, bell icon.
You know, we've said
Okay.
missed out on any, like this has been comprehensive in any way.
Like, you know, people are sitting there taking notes. अच्छा, space में टट्टी क्या बोल रहे? Space सुसु.
तो अपना spaceship लेके कट
निकल जाओ. Sorry guys, we apologize to the entire scientific community and the space community and yeah
And astrologers.
aliens, and astrologers, astronomers, Russian people in general.
I feel like I would take an astrologer more seriously if there was a telescope next to him. At least
ये
देख के
episode
तो
के लिए
बता.
लाना चाहिए, episode के लिए लाना चाहिए. तो कैसे एक
There
telescope रख
is.
देते
It's
हैं.
called a parrot.
पर meaning I'm saying कि before you tell me कि तेरा राहु केतु में थर्ड हाउस में मार्स whatever the fuck एक बार देख तो चेक तो कर.
नहीं इधर पेपर पे लिखा है, इधर दिख रहा है. सर पेपर में प्लैनेट कैसे दिख रहे हैं?
Flat
अभी तू
Earth.
देख अपने ये एपिसोड पे आने वाले ऐड एस्ट्रोलॉजर के, तो दिख के ले ले. एनीवे,
Yes.
तो
Thank you so much.
केतु हो और
Good
प्लीज
night.
लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब अगेन. ओके बाय. टाटा. ह्यूस्टन, वी आर फिनिश्ड.
Akshay Kumar doing Houston.
ये क्या कलर है यार? पॉपिन, मैरी पॉपिंस. Hey Baba, you're wearing undersized t-shirt nowadays.
Dryer.
Baba is wearing his night suit nowadays.
Dryer.